Now the Spirit of the Lord is the one that speaks through me. Before my mother's womb, he ordained and knew me, ransomed me, and placed his words upon my tongue. Few are chosen, rest assured that I am one, an ambassador for Christ, his beloved son. And by his word, let souls be one. So welcome everyone to this listening party. Sit back and let your souls be hearty. Celebrate with me the gift that God has imparted. And what better way to get this party started than to give him the stage, because he knows where your heart is. Holy Spirit, you are welcome in this place. Give me the boldness to look upon each face and speak every word that you've given me to say. With no fear, I speak truth. I won't deviate, and I'm confident that all will go great. So let your presence saturate this place. I breathe in your spirit, I intake a river full of life, water in every dry place. As I flow to the notes that heaven navigates, let it bless every listener and free them today. Let the truth of your word draw souls to be saved. Let the comforter comfort hearts today, and let the light of your word show them the way. Every time I write, I tell his story as I bask in the truth of his word before me. He opens up to me and shows me his glory. He gives me the strength to keep on soaring, and when I open up my mouth, for him I'm roaring. And the Spirit of the Lord goes before me. To the captive set free, that's reassuring. Over the years he strengthened my inner core, and every day I wake up just seeking him more. Am I ready for this? In my spirit I'm sure. I am in Christ and my Father I adore. He redeemed me from destruction, I am his ambassador. As the world turns and open up the door, I step in with purpose to win souls for the Lord. Every time I write, I tell a story as I bask in the truth of his word before me. Every time I write, I tell a story as I bask in the truth of his word before me. Every time I write, I tell a story as I bask in the truth of his word before me. Every time I write, I tell a story as I bask in the truth of his word before me. Every time I write, I tell the story as I bask in the truth of his word before me.
Avatar football. Hey, gang, welcome to. Hey, gang, welcome to Time to Bomb Sports Talk, the fastest growing show in the world. It's Monday, June 1st. Can you believe it? We're halfway through 2026. And this is the day that the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. If you don't think it's a great day, just try missing one. And we, LOVE, love sports on the Tom the Bomb Show and the Word of God on the Tom the Bomb Show. Yes, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. YouTube, our channel is Tom the Bomb Sports Talk. You can also connect with us by email at info@tomthebombsports.com. And of course, you can always visit our website at www.tomthebombsports.com. Hey, gang, we'd like to personally thank you for your prayers and your support for contributing to the show and our ministry. We sincerely thank you. With that, we appreciate your patronage, and you can bless us to keep creating compelling content and spreading the word of God. Our business cash app here is hashtag $ Tom the Bomb Sports Talk. Again, that's $ Tom the Bomb Sports Talk. We sincerely thank you, and may God bless you 100-fold return on the seed that you've sown into our ministry at the Tom the Bomb Show. As usual, we want to start off by thanking God for all of the wonderful things that He's already done for us, and of course, the new things that are happening in 2026. Look at there. There we go. See if we can get you in there. All right. Our theme, did we get to Troy? Our theme, yeah, there we go. Our theme for 2026 is the year of discovery for grace and beyond in 2026, so that we can be transformed to a level that none of us has walked in before. And 2026 can be the best year of our lives. Did I lose Troy?
You lost Troy.
Okay. Felix, you there?
Yes, sir. Right here.
Okay, hold on, man. Now we got to get Troy. All right, hold on. Bear with us as we get our host in here. All righty. Attaboy, Felix. Troy, you there?
Again.
Troy? Okay, all right. Okay, we got you guys both. All right, okay. Let's get back to it. Our foundational scripture for 2026 is found in Second Peter 3:18, and this is the Good News Translation Bible. And it says, but continue to grow in grace and knowledge of our Lord Jesus Christ. To him be the glory now and forever. Amen. To infinity and beyond. To God be the glory. Hey, gang, I'm pleased to announce our Community Hope Center at VCCI, Victory Christian Church International. We've started our grocery distribution program, and we're feeding 50 families in designated zip codes on the third Saturday of each month at 11 a.m. Eastern. Our location is at 7-7 Metropolitan Court. That's in Gaithersburg, Maryland. The zip code there is 20878. And it's open to all the residents of the following zip codes. That's 20877, 20878, 20879, 20855, and 20882, and anyone that lives in Montgomery Village Avenue. It's on a first come, first served basis while supplies last. You can scan the QR code to register, or you can also register on site. That is available, but all participants must complete a registration form. Please, please, please. Okay, listen, our goal is to work up to 100 families soon. Okay, so be in agreement with us to get to this goal. It's a worthy goal, okay? We want to be a blessing to the community that we serve. Our beloved Pastor Dwayne Brunson used to say, if a church leaves the community and the community that missed the church, then that meant the church was never supposed to be there. And we know that we are where we're supposed to be. Hey, gang, it's like I said, it's the 1st of June and we're almost halfway through the year 2026. Hey, how are your goals? How are your New Year's resolutions? Are you guys getting it done? How's it coming along? Don't be discouraged, okay? If you fail, try and try again, okay? So let's get back on the treadmill. We still got half a year to go. Don't quit. Don't you quit. Don't give up. Don't ever give up. Okay. Hey, Felix, Troy, we got trivia question. Okay, Felix, this one came right out of Tom the Bomb's mind. Didn't look at enough. This is just right out of the top of my head with this trivia question. You ready for it, Felix?
Go for it. I'm ready.
Okay, and I want you to think about this one now, because we're getting close. It's close to the boys of summer, so I'm a seam head, so I got to eventually work some baseball in here, right? Okay, so this is our baseball trivia for today. Okay, which two teams played against each other in the World Series and are currently in the same division and conference? Which two teams played against each other in the World Series and are currently in the same division and the same conference? Ooh, that'll make you scratch your head on that one, Felix,
Do
right?
you want us to answer that like right now or towards the end of the show?
We're going to answer it toward the end of the show. Felix responded quickly, like he know what that is. Troy, you got any idea?
Sort of. I don't know.
If you know something about the league realignment in the mid 2000s, I'm not going to say much more.
Well, we'll get to the at the end, but Felix sounds like he's ready for this one. Okay, folks, let's get. You know what? Okay, you know what? I don't see my break. Okay. We got breaking sporting news, so we gotta jump in ahead of our initial first topic. Our breaking sporting news, and I can't see the screen. Big splash, 4 p.m. I don't know where did that come from. Big splash, NFL blockbuster summer trade. Let's get to it, guys. Big blockbuster summer trade. The Los Angeles Rams. Okay, what did I just do? The Los Angeles Rams have now traded Miles. They've received Miles Garrett for. Help me out here, guys. What's the trade?
Jared versus Miles Garrett.
Okay, help me out here. I'm having some technical difficulties here.
Oh,
Let's talk about this blockbuster trade that almost got Felix in trouble in school today.
uh, the Rams traded Jared Verse, a 2027 first round pick, a 2028 second round pick, and a 2029 third round pick in exchange for Miles Garrett.
Man, sound like the Rams is all in on Super Bowl this year, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this trade? Listen. Uh, Jared Verse, that ain't nobody. To me, this is a great move for the Cleveland Browns. This is a great move for the Cleveland Browns. Felix, what's your thoughts on this?
Really? I mean, maybe, perhaps, but I would say my first reaction, I was thinking the Browns are getting fleeced here, but I can see, okay, the draft picks, they can build with something with that. I think what the Rams did, number one, they practically replaced Aaron Donald with that X factor of the pass rush. And again, this is the team that's already has an elite passing game, already has a solid running game to supplement that. Pass defense, not too bad. At this point, the Rams, like you said, they're going for it all. It's not enough just to have a dominant defense. They want to return to what they had between 2018 and 2021, and I think they're going to get just that in Myles Garrett.
Troy, what's your thought on this trade?
I don't really understand it from the Browns' perspective. Like, I understand why they did it. I'm gonna get to that in a second.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask y'all: if I had the rights to Lawrence Taylor in his prime, would there be a price for Lawrence Taylor?
No, not for Lawrence Taylor. No, no.
That's my point. Now, the thing that I like about this for the Rams is that Miles Garrett might break his own sack record next year. And the reason why is because now he has an offense that can put up points. So as a defensive end, when I know my team can score 30 a game, guess what? 75% of the time, I'm going to be rushing the passer, not rushing the passer and trying to stop the run because the team I'm going against is trying to control the clock because they got an up on us on our defense, on our offense. Like, nah. So I say in regards to, Miles Garrett is a generational talent. I feel like sometimes we use generational talent and GOAT, very loosely. But Miles Garrett, in the past 10 years, there hasn't been a better edge rusher than Miles Garrett.
Felix, how old is Myles Garrett now?
Myles Garrett should be about 30.
Okay. Well, he's
So
got some.
10 years,
He's
I
got
really
some
have to
tread
say,
left on the tires. But this Jared Verse is a young beast, man.
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. This trade to me has um has Peyton Manning's nephew written all over it in 2027 because now they have multiple picks in 2027. We talked about how Arch was going to be, look for the Cleveland Browns. This is an opportunity for them to have multiple picks in the first round, just like they did last year, and then be able to, continue the dumpster fire of the organization that they are.
Well, listen, Troy, Felix, answer this. What have you guys seen from Arch Manning that tells me he's going to be better than Dion's son? I mean, because right now I haven't seen it. Okay, and potential is something that you haven't done yet. That's what potential is, and them loading up for Arch Manning. I don't right now. I think Dion's son's a better quarterback than Arch Manning. What you guys' thoughts on that right now?
It don't matter if he's a better. Well, yeah, I agree with you, but it don't matter that if he's better than Arch or not. They don't want Shador. They want Arch. Most of the time it ain't about talent. It's just about the people who are running the shots. Are they getting what they want? And I don't care what happens. Ultimately, they're gonna find a way to pick him up. They're gonna find a way to do what they can to make sure they can snag him. And then Shador gonna have to have a Pro Bowl season for him to still be the Cleveland Browns quarterback after this year. I don't even see that happening because I don't even know if he's gonna get the starting job over Deshaun Watson. So
Well,
hey.
if Deshaun Watson can be even a shadow of his previous self, you know, then that's an all-pro quarterback if he can be that shadow. Felix, what's your thoughts on this?
I agree. Look at the situation they gave not Deshaun Watson, but rather Shedeur Sanders. It's been very obvious that they don't want him in Cleveland. It's been very obvious that they've done everything to not accommodate him, which is a bare minimum, especially with what we know about what we know about the NFL today and the importance of the dynamics you set for your quarterback. So I would definitely say that Shadeur's in a situation where he would have to perform. He'd have to force them to appreciate him in a way. In other words, he'd have to perform twice as well to get as far as he should go, if that makes any sense.
Trust me, that makes total sense. That sounds pretty familiar, don't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, it's shocking because last year we talked about that there's 32 teams in the NFL and 16 of them had black starting quarterbacks. That's half. And you think it's 2026, half of the leagues has black starting quarterbacks, and in 2026 we're still having issues with this in Cleveland because there's no way that Arch Manning is a better quarterback than Shedeur Sanders right now. No way. 5 or 10
Well,
years,
right now.
I don't know.
No.
I don't know. But right now, there's no way he's a better quarterback than Shedeur. And so we know what that's about.
And there's no.
Go ahead, guys.
I was just going to say there's no indication that he's going to be better. So taking a chance on him or taking the chance to set it up with him makes no logical sense when you already have Shedeur. That's what I was going to get at.
Mm-hmm. Felix, what are you eating? It sounds good.
Oh, wow. I did not even know you could pick up like that. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. I haven't eaten.
That's the high quality microphone you got right there. I apologize. I'm going to put this away.
That's all right, man. Come on, man. I'm not just messing with you, man. Yeah. So, Troy, tell us about the other NFL breaking news that's going on, Troy.
Well, I wanted to say one more thing about the Shedeur thing.
Take your time, bro.
It's not about black or white, in my opinion. We're past the black and white, especially in this day and age of football, right? It's more so the image in comparison to, the actual appearance, right? Meaning the image of somebody holding a Rolex up in the air, having, the cockiness and the, self-confidence as his father, and, being in a position to where he's, very within himself, knowing who he is and not letting anybody get under his skin. It's a lot of things that were threatened by that. The reason why you go from being a top 3, possibly even a number 1 overall pick, if the Titans didn't take Cam Ward, to being a 5th rounder. It's not about black and white, it's about the image. Now, in regards to other news with the NFL, I got a couple things to talk about. Number 1, for all my Giants fans, OBJ is back. He signed a deal with the Giants. I really like this move for Odell in particular. And, here's the thing. No matter if he produces or not, people are going to fill the seats up to come back to see OBJ. And in regards to just getting revenue and being able to, bring a spark back, they already did really well in the draft. Now you're going to have a lot of women that don't even watch football in that area want to go and support and get an OBJ jersey because Odell's back. So, congratulations to Odell. Super Bowl winner, former offensive rookie of the year. It's good to see. Now, more news in regards to just what's going on currently. For those who follow social media, Instagram, Brandon Ayuk on his Instagram page has follows 3 people: his wife, Jaden Daniels, and the Washington Commanders. So it ain't happened yet, but just know in the near future, Brandon Ayuk is going to be a Commander. And then lastly, AJ Brown getting traded from the Eagles to the Patriots for a 2028 first round pick. I could be wrong, but yeah, that's all the news I got.
Okay, that has actually happened. That trade with AJ Brown, Troy.
Yes, it's official. AJ Brown is a Patriot.
Felix, what's your thoughts on that?
I would say the Eagles made a mistake here. That was their biggest threat in the passing game. Eagles passing game, again, it grossly underperformed, especially given its potential last season. You took away the number 1 passing target. You're in a situation, if you're an NFC East team, all teams are hungry, all teams are very capable, where there might be easier pickings for the teams there. At first, I'm wondering, are the Commanders going to show up week 1 for Philly? Now, I mean, most of the reason why I picked Philly against Washington was because of a threat he posed. Now he's gone. Washington, in my unbiased opinion, and I'm unbiased here, Washington might actually sweep Philly because of this. I mean, I sound crazy right now, but there's that. Not to mention the Patriots. They were already a team with a dangerous pass game. Now you add an elite wide receiver to the fray. So, of course, now I think the Patriots could recreate, if not 100%. I don't think the Patriots are going to go back to the Super Bowl, but they can at least create statistically, a semblance of what they had last year. Definitely get some games and be a 10-plus win team again this year with that addition.
Well, Felix, Troy brought up a good point a while back. Is AJ Brown doesn't want to be in Philly, and if you got a malcontent on your team, we know how important chemistry is in the locker room. If the guy doesn't want to be there, you got to move him. Troy, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man, I don't want no Panthers spreading around in my locker room. I don't want nobody that don't believe or, trust in the process of what I am or what the organization is as a whole. He did his time there, but throughout time, It's just it didn't really work out with him and Jalen Hurts, and it's unfortunate. They definitely are a better team with AJ Brown in comparison to not having AJ Brown. But that's the reason why they went and got Mekhi Lemon.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, everybody knew that he was going to go as soon as their first round pick was a wide receiver.
Yep.
So it don't surprise me. But again, I'm not with all the talent out here. Like unless you Terrell Owens or unless you are a guy that's just like a bona fide guy, I don't need that. And even with that, you saw how many teams T.O. played for, short leash.
Right. Well, Felix, I'll say this. To me, the Philadelphia Eagles have the best GM in all of the NFL. And he does a really phenomenal job. And if he's ready to move on from AJ Brown, then I everything that he's done up to this point, I think he deserves some rope to make some moves and move on. And like Troy said, and pick up Lemon because this kid's supposed to be really really good coming out of college. And we've seen rookies come into the NFL at the wide receiver position and make an impact immediately. So I'm okay with this. Last thing on the NFL, I want to ask you guys: the Giants' new young quarterback, this MAGA thing, and how is that going to affect the locker room? What's your last thoughts on this on the NFL? Felix, you go first.
I don't really think the problem's going to affect the locker room because he's not the first NFL player to come out and say that they're conservative or they support Trump or so on and so forth. People know how to go around that just being cordial in the locker room, or you can have a case where maybe they know him better, maybe they're assuming, okay, Jackson Dart, he might do this, but he has no issue with us. But I'd say that my biggest takeaway from this is that wow, the same people who are supporting Jackson Dart, who are getting angry at people for criticizing or having a difference, with Jackson Dart. These are the same people, if you remember, they asked us to keep politics out of sports when we were talking about human life.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that's not negotiable. Like when people, they were saying, these are the people who were saying keep politics out of sports. I don't want to hear about, brutality or people losing their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward, they're saying, oh, right on, Jackson Dart. I'm not a Giants fan, but I'm going to buy your jersey because you spoke with Trump. So that's really my main thing. I'm not even looking at the locker room. I think that'll sort itself out. It always has.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just pointing out the hypocrisy of the people who say keep politics out of sports, stay quiet and dribble. Because guess what? They use the word politics when they're talking about human life, human quality of life. But all of a sudden, when it's literal politics, when it's literally talking about someone who you're voting for and they're controversial for an obvious reason, I mean, it's just pure gaslighting, and I'm shocked. I have let's be honest, the people who are talking, they don't even believe what they're saying. These conservatives are being hypocritical about it.
Troy, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, here, ultimately, Felix knocked the nail on the head, man. Like, it's very hypocritical with everything that happened, what kind of happening. Now, one thing I'll say is that, I feel like in regards to the locker room, and especially with Abdul Carter being the main one speaking out against it, as men, you got to have uncomfortable conversations with other men if you want to get to, the ultimate goal of being able to, be a successful football team. So I feel as if the team did a good job of keeping it under wraps. I think, they're saying all the right things in regards to like, look, we talked about it. If that's your position, stand on it, but it can't be a problem when I stand on what I believe in. And, that was just a reminder of, okay, so if you see a guy taking knee, you can't say nothing, right? If you see a guy, going against police brutality and speaking out against it, you can't say nothing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny how that message turned into, oh, well, he disrespects our military and he doesn't have respect for this country. And if he doesn't like our country, then why should he be here? Why does he just leave? We live in a very demonic society in regards to how people perceive one another. People smile in people's faces all the time, but true colors come out when doors are shut.
Mm-hmm.
When people are at home and when they're in a safe space where they feel as if they can be themselves, they'd be surprised at how people really feel and talk about you. So, at least Jackson came out and, he stood his gun and, said an apology in regards to like, I'm not trying to create any distractions for my team. I want to keep everything cordial. But again, it's hypocritical, keep the same energy for top.
Well, listen, you can't tell people who they can marry, and you can't tell people who they can vote for. I'll wrap this up with a famous line from the movie North Dallas Foley and Nick Nolte. When I call it a game, you call it a business. And when I call it a business, you call it a game. That's the hypocrisy right there. Let's move on, folks. Let's get right to the NBA playoffs. Playoffs? Playoffs? Yeah, playoffs. Okay, gang. Troy, Felix, and Tom the Bomb are all in agreement that the best team won the NBA Western Conference Finals. No excuses. The best team won. The San Antonio Spurs caught up to the defending champion Thunder ahead of schedule, and have reshaped the NBA's future, ending OKC hopes of back-to-back NBA championships. They played 12 times this season, and the Spurs won 8 out of 12 games that they played. They advanced to the NBA Finals starting on Wednesday, June 3rd, where a New York state of mind awaits the young Spurs. You like that? The Spurs defeated OKC 111 to 103 on their home floor in front of their home crowd. MVP SGA threw everything he had at the young Spurs, and the Spurs just didn't care and took every blow that SGA threw like a wily old veteran, counterpunched brilliantly. I love the way they just kept attacking OKC, and they didn't back into this win, but they unanimously knocked the champ out. And that's what you have to do when you're fighting the champ. No fluke plays, no bad calls to change the outcome of the game. James, they just flat out outplayed OKC, who didn't play bad. No, OKC didn't play bad, with the exception of Chet Holmgren. I'm going to cut my monologue right here because I want to get Troy and Felix in here quick. Okay, guys, the Spurs have officially arrived, but the Thunder ain't going nowhere. With that being said, Wimby owns Chet Holmgren, and the Thunder can't get back until they address their center problem with Chet Holmgren. Hartenstein was great, but Chet got to go. What's your take? Let's go with you first, Troy.
That's a little harsh. I get where you're coming from, but the dude was all NBA, third team. So here's my honest take. Here's my honest take. They missed Jalen Williams badly. Simple as that. They didn't have another scoring option outside of SGA that could put the ball on the ground and be, a good ISO guy that can create for others just by drawing attention. Chet can score, but he's never been known to be like a 25 or 30 point a game type of scorer from the center position. That's not his forte. He can stretch the floor, he'll set good screens, and he'll play good defense. And it's not that he didn't play pretty good defense this series. That's one thing I want to make it clear. He ain't soft, but in regards to Wemby, he didn't look. He folded under pressure. Now, ultimately, the Spurs. I said this before the series started. I said this before the playoffs started. OKC did not want to play the Spurs in a 7-game series, and I still stand tall on that to this day because they match up better than anybody else against OKC with the Spurs. This backcourt is phenomenal with Vassell, with Sam Penny, with De'Aaron Fox, who's coming back healthy, right? Like Dylan Harper. This backcourt is deep. The front court, Luke Cornett probably made one of the best blocks I've ever seen in that type of moment outside of LeBron in Game 7 with that chase down on Iguodala. That was a momentum shifter. And
We're
this
going to get to
team
that.
did what they were supposed to do. They beat up on an injured OKC team, and they handled business when, quite honestly, the refs did all that they could to keep this series, relevant in Game 5. So, yeah, the better team won. If
We
you look
said
on
that.
social media, that's just not me talking. I don't want people to think I'm going off of emotion because how I feel.
We said that up front. The better team won, Troy.
Yeah, but here's the thing though. Nobody else picked the Spurs but me.
No, between me and
Who
Felix,
who
but
picked
a lot of people
Spurs
picked the Spurs.
on this call right now?
No,
Who picked the
yeah,
Spurs?
me and Felix had OKC, but a lot of people picked the Spurs. I'm not gonna let you go there.
No, but no. If we gonna go there, like I said, I'm bringing up the fact of I've been keeping this same energy from the jump, right? I don't care if OKC was fully healthy or not. I thought the Spurs are a better team than OKC because they match up better. But ultimately, like I said, to wrap it up, the Spurs handled business. They did what they were supposed to do. They played good team offense and defense, and the pride of their organization was shown.
Well, Felix, you know that I'm Felix. You know I'm contractually obligated to disagree with Troy. I think I think Holmgren's sweeter than cotton candy, and I'm gonna leave. What's your thoughts, Felix?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. The Spurs are a very talented team. They did show up to the occasion, and we were discussing this. We said Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. We looked at his stats. He's the MVP. He's the MVP. He's an elite player. He didn't show up for most of the series. 6 out of the 7 games, his stats were lackluster. That's not something you expect out of a player of his caliber, player of his role. Then on top of that, you did discuss injuries, but I feel like both teams were hit with an injury bug to an extent. But here's my takeaway. Again, I want to say the Spurs were the better team, but when you factor in the fact that SJ wasn't playing his best ball, he had injuries. There's some questions. I mean, there are a few asterisks there. I mean, I have to be honest. And the Spurs are a team I want to give a lot of credit to. And I don't want to jump the gun just yet, but I'm going to say this: they're facing off against a very capable Knicks team, and I don't think KAT and Brunson are going to have the same issues that SGA had with the Thunder. I'll just
we're going to get to that game. We're going to get to that in a minute, Felix. We're going to get we're going to get to the finals. We're not talking about the finals yet. We're going to get to that. All right, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we're going to get to that. Wembanyama propels the Spurs to the NBA Finals like a champ and an MVP. He put this team on his back when they needed him most. That clutch gene, that's the first thing you look for in a player who goes from being a star to a superstar. What I like is whatever was needed at the time, he did it. Whether it was 41 points and 24 boards or that Bill Russell type defense when it mattered the most, he averaged 27 points, 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks, 1.5 steals, and he shot 48% from the field and 40% from the 3-point line, and he shot 90% from the free throw line. And that's and that's the stat that doesn't show, and the stat that doesn't show up on the stat sheet is that intimidation factor. Come on, man, really? Those are video game numbers. And not to get off the subject, but MJ intimidated people. Shaq intimidated people. Wemby intimidated the Thunder. And according to Big Perk, he punked Chet Holmgren and took his soul. LeBron, all-time great, but he intimidates no one. Okay. I'm sorry. He intimidates no one. Hey, it's my take.
Don't bring that hate.
I ain't bringing no hate. I'm just saying he ain't intimidating nobody.
Don't become the all-time leading scorer in the NBA, and then on top of that, got 4 rings if you don't intimidate nobody. Everybody named Mama got something to say behind this man back, but as soon as they get out in front of him, they don't want no problems with him, even at the age of 41. So no, I'm not hearing that.
That guy intimidates nobody.
All right, bet. Stand in front of him and take a charge then. Do that, right? I want to see somebody with the same energy be able to stand in front, put their hands up, and say, "Oh yeah, I'm not intimidated by you." Keep that.
And you got to understand that's not LeBron's style of play when they're saying intimidation. I mean,
it's not. He's not. That's not his. He is not an intimidator. You're taking this personal. This guy is not an intimidator. Everybody appreciates LeBron's game. Everybody appreciates LeBron's game. But LeBron intimidates no one. Wemby intimidated people.
Game 6 with the Heat to determine if the big 3 stays in Miami or not. You tell me if people aren't intimidated by LeBron.
No, they are not. They are not.
Big 3 just before they got their first
championship. They are not.
Right? Let's keep that same energy.
They are not.
Mask LeBron. Huh? How about, oh yeah, let's ban people from wearing black masks because they don't want Batman out here dropping 40 on your favorite player.
Let's not forget LeBron James. He had a defensive season in 2018. Mind you, the NBA is very hard on defensive play right now. He had a pretty good season. And for a player of his role, that's something you expect out of centers. If you look at his defensive stats, you usually don't see that out of LeBron's style of play. And hey, this is going to be controversial. I hate to say it. You're not going to like this, but you look at Jordan's seasons on defense. I mean, I know I'm nitpicking here, but that's
man. Look. We talk about a guy that got steals fabricated for him. Say he got 8 steals in the game when he really had 4. We talking about facts. I ain't talking about fairy tale. I'm talking about the fact that somebody on one side led the finals in points, rebounds, assists, steals, and blocks, and still lost. No. Nobody can tell me that there's no intimidation factor when the only person in NBA history and Jerry West to be the Finals MVP on a losing team had worse numbers than somebody that didn't get it.
Okay. All right. Everybody's got their
Like, what
opinion.
we talking about?
Everybody.
That summarizes modern NBA discourse. Even though LeBron James hasn't played in about a month, the conversation always goes back to LeBron James.
San Antonio's youth with experience was a collective effort for the Spurs. As good as Wemby is, he doesn't beat the Thunder without Stefan Castle, who had 16, Devin Vassell, who had 11, Dylan Harper, who just, oh my goodness, 12, De'Aaron Fox, 15, Julian Champagnie, 20, Kelton Johnson, 11. They look like the Thunder, bigger, stronger, and with a meaner edge to them. They all made meaningful, significant plays at different key times during the game. And Luke Cornett's block on Isaiah Hartenstein dunk with 6 minutes and 31 seconds left in the fourth quarter, I thought that was the turning point in the game for the Spurs. It was a huge 4-point turnaround. It took the life out of the building and it swung Big Mo for the last time to the Spurs. Uh, the young Spurs, you know, they won this series on the defensive side of the ball. Okay. I talked earlier in the week of how the Spurs found the right formula to beat the champs. SGA was brilliant with 35 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals, but it wasn't enough to get OKC past the young Spurs. They frustrated SGA for the whole series. He didn't play bad. He got D'd up like never before. He got D'd up. They simply dared to make the other Thunder players beat them, and they couldn't. And that was the bottom line. Felix, wrap us up on that.
Huh?
I said, what wrap us up on that. What's your thoughts on that?
Sorry, I need you to repeat the question.
Troy, it wasn't a question. Wasn't a question. Troy, what's your thoughts on that? It wasn't a question, Felix.
Man, look. With SGA, ultimately when it came down to, the Spurs did what they had to make sure that someone else had to take shots, like you said, but no one else missed the call. Again, this is where they missed Jalen Williams, right?
Mhm.
But one thing I'll say is I think the social media impact on this series is really starting to become a thing, because once everybody started to understand what was really going on, it really changed the aspect of how OKC went about to play their game, right? Wemby sent the hit out on OKC when they lost game 5 and they brought in all their scrubs and told them, yeah, foul hard. If they gonna flop, if they gonna be ticky tack, make sure to give them a reason to send them to the line. And once they got physical back with them, they have a shot, right? So again, SGA did his thing in game 7. He did all he could, but again, you missing Jalen Williams really hurt them.
I agree. I agree. Yeah, Thunder was slowed by injuries, but the healthiest team won, which is why the best team won. OKC missed Jalen Williams. They missed AJ Mitchell, two of the offensive creators. Last year, OKC was lucky to be the healthiest team, and they won it. It didn't turn out that way this year. OKC shouldn't overreact to this loss because of the injuries, but they've got to address and combat against Wimbanyama and the Spurs. They need another physical big in the middle who's not afraid of Wimby, and they need another sharpshooter. Maybe Shemet from the Knicks. I think he'd look good with him. I saw some rumors that they might be talking about bringing in the Greek Freak in the middle. Man, the Greek Freak with the Thunder. Oh man, that's oh my. What you guys thoughts on that?
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, especially with all the capital that they got. That trade that they made a few years ago really set them up for the future, not just now, but 4 or 5 years from now. So if you're gonna take a page out the Rams playbook and send some picks along with the guy that you can find is expandable for a guy like Giannis, that makes sense.
I'm packaging up Chet Holmgren. Felix, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, definitely. When it comes to managing the roster in that way, definitely you want to keep the chemistry together. So I hear what you're saying with Chet Holmgren, but then again, I would say those sort of things aren't set in stone. I mean, definitely if something becomes available, or someone rather, I should say, becomes available to free agency, see how that can add to the team. And definitely, again, with all the injuries, you definitely want to say what's the chances of re-aggravation because we mentioned OKC, lots of injuries on the roster, so something to keep an eye on.
Okay, gang, let's take a commercial break and then we'll be right back and we'll be talking about the Knicks and the Spurs in the finals. We'll be right back.
Window Nation is on the Morgan's home turf to huddle up about replacing their drafty old windows.
This free estimate is showing how easy it is to tackle the problem.
We can get any of these windows custom made.
Yes, you can get the quality and style you really want.
And at a more affordable price than they ever imagined.
Now that they've sealed the deal, they'll be saving money year-round.
We're really confident with Window Nation.
Get your free estimate today and get 60% off all windows plus no interest or payments for 24 months at getwindownation.com.
Sheltered by the Sea of Cortez, Danzante Bay is a pure and peaceful oasis, an uncrowded retreat where your options are as vast as your views. If you're seeking a vacation that defines luxury and the true relaxation, look no further than Villa del Palmar at the islands of Loreto. A splendor of true Mexican hospitality effortlessly blends with rich materials and satiable comforts to bring guests the ideal home away from home experience. With its quiet beaches, scenic vistas, rich history, and an astounding surrounding natural habitat, you'll feel as though you've been swept off to paradise. Not to be outdone, Reese Jones has crafted TPC Danzante Bay, a brilliant, multi-themed 18-hole golf course that runs over and through valleys, arroyos, dunes, and foothills. From every angle, striking images of the islands of Loreto and the surrounding mountain range take your breath away, while the challenging yet rewarding Baja Golf Course beckons you to return for more. It is an honor and my pleasure to welcome you to the world's most beautiful sunset and so much more.
And we're back. Okay, it's official. We can now party like it's 1999 again as we get a rematch of the 1999 NBA championship, the New York Knicks versus the San Antonio Spurs. Man, I am so looking forward to this series. As an OKC fan, I admit I didn't want to see Wemby at home because he and his young assassins are really, really fun to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing Wemby defend the big cat, Carl Anthony Towns, who I promise, won't be intimidated the way Chet Holmgren was. And to see my favorite player in the playoffs, Stephon Castle, go against that irrepressible Jalen Brunson. Get your popcorn ready, baby. Get your popcorn ready, baby. It's going to be a PT Pier against the two-season griddle veterans. We got to bring in Dickie V for this. I can't wait, baby. The Knicks have paid their dues over the last 3 seasons, and 2026 has lined up beautifully for them. The Spurs beat the champs, meaning they can beat anybody. OKC had the experience and walked away with a black eye. Look for the same type of defense played against SGA to be applied to Jalen Brunson. The difference is going to be the Knicks supporting cast around their superstar to supply scoring from other than Jalen Brunson. The Knicks are more experienced than OKC. I think the big difference will be offense and defensive rebounding. OKC lost game 7 because of all of the offensive rebounds and the second chance points that they gave up against OKC. New York, New York is the best rebounding team in the tournament, leading the postseason with 18 second chance points per game. Also, where the Thunder refused to run against the Spurs, the Knicks will be looking to turn it into a track meet. Look for Mitchell Robinson to be big in this series, spelling the big cat. How will his broken pinky affect the series? That's a big question mark. Okay, that's something we're going to have to look at. But hey, it's a flashback. In 1999, a 22-year-old Tim Duncan won the Finals MVP by beating a more experienced New York Knicks team for San Antonio's first of 5 NBA titles. In 2026, on Wednesday, a 22-year-old Victor Wembanyama will try to repeat the same history. What's your guys' thoughts on this series coming up? Felix, kick us off.
Right. So, like I was saying, you're talking about a New York team that's healthy. They have two, not just one star player. You're talking about two guys in Carl Anthony Towns and also Jalen Brunson. These are two guys they're not going to have the same slump that SGA had. You're talking about a healthy team. Now, I understand with the argument you can make to the Spurs. They come out of a tougher conference. They're a team that has a lot of roster depth. True. But I'm looking at that series they had with OKC, and quite frankly, if SGA just played at his baseline, I'm not saying he comes out and he shows up at a playoff level like elite players do. There's a playoff version of themselves and a regular season version of themselves. I'm just saying his baseline game and his lower, what I mean, lower third quartile of the game in his performances. You're talking about a different series result. You give OKC a healthier roster, probably a different series result. The Knicks, they're coming out 100%, and you don't just have one X factor there, you have two. So look, everyone's brain says the Spurs, and I understand why, but don't be surprised if the Knicks steal this one.
Okay. Troy, what's your take?
This is a rerun from 1999, and quite honestly, I see a very similar end result. I don't think it's going to end in 5 games like it did back when Tim Duncan was a baby, but I do think the Spurs are going to win this series. The big question mark for me is Carl Anthony Towns going to be the aggressive version of him, or is he going to be the foul baited, frustrated version of him? And if he continues to play that point center role the way that he's been doing this playoff series, everybody else around him is going to thrive. If you can get Wemby out the paint and force everybody else to, play big, to box out, to do all the little things that might not get looked at on the stat sheet, then, the Knicks have a real chance. But outside of that, Tim Duncan was a baby in '99 when he beat Latrell Sprewell and Allen Houston and all them guys back in the Knicks. And I'm seeing a very similar, reoccurrence when you go from having the greatest power forward to ever play this game to probably one of the greatest prospects, if not the greatest prospect to ever enter the NBA in Wemby. So, I don't know. I'm looking at it as the Spurs, even though they may be the underdogs. I think the Spurs are going to win this series.
Actually, the Spurs are favorite. Listen, another stat to pay attention to, the Knicks have the highest field goal percentage in the NBA history playoffs at 59% or better per game. Can they keep shooting lights out and a playoff high of 53 points in the paint per game? I think those numbers are coming down against 7-4 Wemby and that tenacious Spurs defense. I think the bottom line is that the Knicks beat the number 7 seed, the number 6 seed, and the number 4 seed to get to the NBA Finals. They haven't faced a single team in the East like the San Antonio Spurs. That disruptive defense and that efficient ball movement on offense, the Spurs can score 120 points a game if needed. I'm hoping that the Knicks make a good series of it, but I'm leaning heavily toward the Spurs. Their talent and their confidence outweighs their inexperience. Felix, what's your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I would definitely say that experience, again, it is important because you know how to adjust to the changed dynamic of a playoff or championship event. But I would say in general, it just goes to the better team. The better managed team, the better coach team, the more talented team. Point blank, period. No matter what you can say about experience, how many times in sports history have we seen rookie players or players within the first few seasons get to a championship and win it regardless of what sport you're talking about?
Mm-hmm.
So I would definitely say, yes, experience can play a role, but I would say that it only comes out when it's last ditch, when it's dead even in just about every other dynamic. That's the X factor. The nerves, the butterflies, and it causes a mistake. It causes an error. But aside from that, I would say nine times out of 10, it's 100% on skill and organization. Experience maybe that comes out again, but that's really last ditch if everything else is dead even.
Now, we talk about experience, right? I mean, let me ask y'all this: when's the last time the New York Knicks won the NBA title?
Oh Jesus. That
1983.
Yeah,
no,
we weren't born yet, bro.
no, it wasn't before then. It was before
You
then.
get what I'm saying? When was the last time the Spurs won the championship? What, 2014?
Been a
Yeah.
while, yeah.
Where's Kawhi Leonard, right?
Mhm.
Look, man. The reason why I say this because even with experience, man, people don't understand. Tim Duncan has a complete footprint in the development of Wemby. There was no better organization to go to as a young center than a team that just continues to reload at the big man position and find stars. You go from David Robinson to Tim Duncan to Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, the transition is kind of like what the Packers had with Bart Starr,
Exactly.
Brett Favre,
I
Aaron
agree.
Rodgers,
Good
right?
connection, Troy.
If we talk about experience, I'm looking at it as, man, look, nobody before me, nobody after we was born can say, yeah, we brought a title to the New York Knicks in our lifetime. You know, Latrell Sprewell went off in '99, and it still wasn't enough to get past a young um San Antonio led team through Tim Duncan, right? So I don't know. I look at it as even with the experience of guys being a little bit older, this organization still has the help of Pop, even though he's not the head coach. They still got the help of Tim Duncan. They still got the knowledge and support from Ginobili and Parker and even the Admiral and all those guys that have wore a Spurs uniform and gotten the championship. So I don't know. That's just me.
To your point, some people point that the creation of modern, like I'm going to take a small side note here. A lot of people said that modern hip hop started around the time of the Knicks' first championship game. So, in other words, the Knicks last time they won was so long ago that hip hop as we currently know it today didn't even exist. Worth noting.
Troy, that's a great connection with the Packers. I like that. Bart Starr, Brett Favre. That's a great connection.
Thank you.
That's a real good take there, man.
That was perfect.
Yep, good job. Okay, Felix, we're all set for the Stanley Cup Finals with Game 1 starting tomorrow night, June 2nd at 8 p.m. with the Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are content to let the noise take care of itself and just focus on the Golden Knights. The Canes reaching the playoffs and falling short in the conference finals in 2019, 2023, and in 2025 is well chronicled. But after going 12-1 in the playoffs this year, they've gotten past that hurdle and are in their first Stanley Cup finals since 2006, the last time they won Lord Stanley Cup. Okay. From goaltending through special teams, through 5-on-5s, they've been more consistent than in the past. They're 6-1 at home, and they're 6-0 on the road in the playoffs. Everybody would take that performance, needing only 13 games to reach the Cup Finals. That was the fewest of any NHL team since the 2002-2003 season, Felix. Obviously, with more magnitude, there's more outside noise. The Hurricanes say when the puck drops, we'll get back to business and let the noise take care of itself. Side note, Felix, the nosebleed tickets are going for $1,000 a piece on StubHub. These two teams play a very similar game, Felix. Hard on their forechecks and dumping pucks in. It'll be interesting to see which team does it the best. What's your take, Felix?
First off, I wanted to say this about the Vegas Golden Knights. This is when you talk about a well-managed team.
Mhm.
Did you know the Vegas Golden Knights? This is their third Stanley Cup appearance in
In
franchise history.
in 9 years. Isn't that
Yes.
impressive? Their expansion. They've been Felix. I've been following this. Come on, man. You know I'm trying to impress you, right? Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, you
They've
are.
only been in existence for 9 years, and they've already been in three. That's like being in the NFL for 9 years, and you've been to three Super Bowls. That's impressive.
On average, they've been well. Basically, that's what Washington did in the 1930s and 40s. But off topic. Um, going back to
If you
hockey in
if you cut him,
2026.
he'll bleed burgundy.
Going back to what Washington's doing, Vegas is doing in hockey. They're there roughly once every 3 years. So I have to give credit to the front office. They've built a culture around not just having a solid offense, but also solid physical play. They built a strong physical identity. And I remember that off of their first season playing against Washington. Washington was by far the NHL leader in checks, physical play. Even the captain, the team captain's not supposed to play physical. You're supposed to protect them. You look at Wayne Gretzky, not a physical player. Ovechkin said no. I mean, he's going in for the hits, not just the shots. And he's also, a lot of people don't know about this, top 10 in hits. But not to go too far off topic, the Golden Knights have always been a well-rounded team, not just with the offensive aspect of the game, defensive aspect of the game. That's what's carried them so far. And again, just proper management, keeping certain aspects of the identity. And you've mentioned that with, the Packers with their quarterbacks, and you can talk about the Ravens or the Steelers with their defenses over the years. So that's kind of what Vegas, well, in a microcosmic way, because you're just talking about a 9-year span, is done with the aspects of the game. But as for this series upcoming, I'm going with Carolina, and I want to talk about that Carolina-Montreal series. Montreal, and I did mention that they were a dangerous team because even though they weren't all that in the regular season, when you average 5 points in a game, in games that you win, not to mention you put up 6 points against the championship favorite game one, you look dangerous. But one thing I respect Carolina for, they saw what Montreal's point of attack was. If you slow down their tempo, they stop scoring points.
Call for him. Phil Reynolds.
Putting up 6 against Carolina. And as a matter of fact, Carolina, they averaged about 13 shots on goal per game ever since they lost. And here's the thing about that. On average, you have about 20 to 30 shots on goal in an NHL game. They had about half of that playing in the playoffs. Carolina figured out, okay, this team is dangerous if you let them go. The key is to stymie them. If you stymie them, you slow down their momentum, they're just a regular team. And that's where I give kudos to Montreal. Again, not all that, but their coach found a way to make them extremely dangerous in this year's playoffs. But long story short, I'm going with Carolina here. I feel like they're the better team. Vegas is going to put up a fight, but I think this is going to be a 4-2 series.
All right, there we go. Hey, gang, on Sunday, the 2026 Charles Schwab Challenge featured a tight leaderboard entering the final round, with Eric Cole maintaining a one-shot lead on the field after matching the round of the week with a 63 on moving day, which is Saturday in the PGA Tour, his first career PGA Tour victory. But it was Russell Henley's 3 straight birdies on 16, 17, and 18 to finish at 12 under, coming home at 31 on the back 9 that forced the playoff with Eric Cole. And from seemingly out of nowhere, Russell Henley raced through the pack to the finish line Sunday at the Colonial Country Club to capture his 6th career victory on their home floor of the PGA Tour, as he defeated the 54-hole leader Eric Cole on the first playoff hole, as Henley birdied the first playoff hole, making it 4 birdies in a row to close out the victory. Eric Cole, after a blistering 63 on Saturday to position himself for his first win, experienced a difficult scoring day on Sunday by only managing 1 birdie on the back 9 on Sunday. Russell Henley reeled him in and finished him off on the first playoff hole. Like we've talked about before on the show floor, on Sunday, to win a PGA Tour event, you got to win it and not back into the victory. Eric Cole didn't play bad and he didn't choke. Russell Henley started his day off with an eagle and a birdie, and then he birdied the last 4 holes to win the tournament. Russell Henley takes home the first place check of $1.78 million. And poor Eric Cole, come on, guys, poor Eric Cole, he's going to have to lick his wounds for finishing second and only going home with $1,079,000 for 4 days of work. Say it with me, say it with me. Get your kids out playing golf. Get your kids out playing golf. So let's do a little bit more and help you guys out with your game and your kids' game. So Felix, we got to get you signed up. Okay, gang, at this point, at this time, we're going to find out today exactly what Troy does at Golftec. Troy Wood is a certified professional golf coach at Golftec in Gaithersburg, Maryland. He's dedicated to helping golfers of all skill levels improve their game with extensive training and access to advanced technology like OptiMotion and launch monitors, will help deliver personalized lessons tailored to each student's goal. Backed by years of experience and a passion for teaching, Troy will provide the expert and support you'll need to play your best golf. And if you don't believe me, ask some of my golfing buddies, the chippers who've been contributing to the Tommy Wood Golf Fund lately. Seriously though, their teaching philosophy centers around personalized instruction, data-driven insights, and a consistent improvement of your game. Every golfer has their own unique swing. It's like a fingerprint, okay? And Troy will work with you right where you currently are to help you unlock your full potential through customized coaching and advanced technology in a supportive learning environment, focusing on the measurable progress and fostering confidence. Troy will help you achieve long term success on the golf course. Troy, tell us tell us what you can do. Let me just say this. Troy can be reached at troy.wood@golftec.com. That's at 9318 Gaither Road. That's Suite 225 in Gaithersburg, Maryland, 20877. The number there is 240 654 0796. Troy, tell us exactly what you do and break down what I just said in layman's term at GolfTech.
I could do that. Before I get to it, I just want to say thank you, my father and my mother, um, for constantly enriching the thought process that I could do what I want to do in life. Without y'all, I wouldn't be here. In particular with you because you introduced me to it with my mom. She actually got me into golf tech as a student back in 2017, back when I played collegiately. So one thing I'll say is that our company is great because it works. It's data driven, like you said. There's a lot of breakdown and film overlook, and it's a blessing. For the past 15 years, film has been a part of my life in regards to making adjustments, analyzing, and then making adjustments. The main thing we do here at Golf Tech is we want you to swing your swing, but we want you to feel more confident and more versatile about what you can actually do. The best thing in life is to be able, well, not in life. The best thing with golf, when it comes to just being able to get better, is being able to look at yourself and then being able to compare yourself to someone that you're trying to get to that does what you want to do, and then being able to make adjustments, on the fly in real time. Through our swing evaluation, which is a 90-minute process, hour and a half, I ask you questions. I get a feel of where you're at. I get a feel of how serious you are about how you want to improve, or if you're just looking to get started and you're not really trying to get too much in it. And I match the energy in being able to accomplish goals that you bring to me. Anything that you need to get done, I can help you with, right? And not only me, we got four of the guys at our store, all with years worth of experience, all different age brackets, all different ethnical backgrounds. We got a coach for every type of personality that you can think of. And the last thing I'll say is that again, being able to really see everything for yourself and being able to really grow by just putting your foot down and just being, coachable and saying, look, I came here for a reason. I really want to take my game to the next step. If you give us effort, we'll give you results. So if you ever want to just learn more, I'm not even asking, for you guys to come in regards to, um, being a student of mine or not. Just in regards to just giving you more insight, our job is simple. We inform, we help, we guide, and we help you have fun. And so, come see us if you need to. If you have any questions, again, just like my dad said, you can reach me. My email address is troy.wood@golftech.com. And you can always give us a phone call. We're here for you as well.
Well, I can personally attest, and like I said, some of my golfing buddies, they can personally attest to Tom, what you been doing? And I just say, hey, I've been working with Troy, and it's like, man, we really see the difference. So it works. It's just like anything else in life. What you put into it is what you get out of it. And there's a saying, life is too short to play bad golf. And that's the truth. Life is too short to play bad golf. Hey, gang, thanks a lot, Troy. Let's get to our trivia question. Okay, Felix, let's get back to it. Right on the time the ball's mine. Which two teams played against each other in the World Series and are currently in the same division and conference. Felix, you got an answer for us?
Okay, so first off, I know the Houston Astros switched conferences in the mid 2000s. So that gives us the current American League West. Am I not mistaken?
Yeah, they are in the West, but what are the two teams that played in the World Series and are now in the same conference? That's the question, Felix.
I'm getting there. So
Okay,
of
my
course we
bad.
know that the Seattle Mariners have never been to the World Series. We know that out west, right? And now, so, okay, I'll just cut it short. I believe it's the Astros and the LA Angels.
Okay, that would not be correct. Okay. The answer is in 1982, the St. Louis Cardinals defeated the Milwaukee Brewers
Come on.
in 7 games to win their first championship since 1967. Ironically, the Brewers would join the Cardinals as members of the National League Central Division in 1998, making them the only two teams to play each other in the World Series from the same division. At the
That makes
time,
sense.
the two teams had never met before because interleague play had not started at the time. So, because of the two cities had a commercial rivalry in the beer market, with St. Louis being the home of Anheuser-Busch, which owned the St. Louis Cardinals at the time, while the Milwaukee is home of Miller Brewing Company, it quickly became known as the Sud Series, the Battle of the Beers. The Brew Crew, because of their power bats, were known as the Harvey Wallbangers, whose manager name was Harvey King. They hit 216 home runs that year, while in sharp contrast, as a team, the St. Louis Cardinals only hit 67 home runs for the whole season. It was built after their manager, Whitey Herzog, and they played Whitey ball, built on solid pitching, exceptional defense, clutch hitting, speed, and more speed with aggressive base running and manufacturing runs. So the answer to the question is the St. Louis Cardinals and the Milwaukee Brewers. That one came right off the top of my head. Felix, you like that one?
I believe it.
Hey, gang, that's our show for today. Our Grace Devotionals have moved to Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. Saturday night? Yep, Saturday night. Hey, as usual, Felix and Troy, you guys were on spot. That's an excellent take on the Green Bay Packers, Troy. I really dug that. Don't forget to like and subscribe us on YouTube and hit that like bell, please. If you're enjoying the content and you'd like to bless our ministries, you can sow into the Tom the Bomb Sports Talk by cash apping us at $ Tom the Bomb Sports Talk. Again, that's $ Tom the Bomb Sports Talk. And don't forget to check out our website at www.tomthebombsports.com. You can also email us at info@tomthebombsports.com. Hey, gang, for a dynamic and in depth sports analysis of highlights for sports in the DMV and more, check out the Washington Sports Den on Saturdays on WBGR with my main man, Mr. Felix Bazzi. His future so bright, he got to wear shades at nighttime. That's how bright his future is. Man, time flies when you're having fun. We're out of time here, but we sure do thank you for spending your time with us. Listen, we don't take that for granted. Listen, may the gates of heaven open and pour out an abundance of blessings down on you that there won't be room enough to contain it all as you live off the overflow and step boldly into the realm of grace. Remember, if you want it, you got to confess it with your mouth and believe it in your heart that Jesus died on the cross and that he rose on the third day, not necessarily a Thursday, just for you. Amen. Hey, gang, Tom the Bomb wants to leave you with a thought. Okay. Uh, Duct tape may patch a lot of things, but 3 nails fixed everything. Remember, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And God is love. May God bless you guys. We'll see you guys next week, this same bat time on this same bat channel. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the hockey on Tuesday. And I know you guys are going to join the NBA Finals on Wednesday. The Knicks versus the Spurs. Get your popcorn ready. Troy, Felix, fantastic job. Dr. Lauren, fantastic job. You guys have a great week. Good night. Tom the Bomb out.
This is your time, and you gon' shine, and you gon' shine. Daughter of mine, this is your time, and you gon' shine, and you gon' shine.
Well, I'm coming out with a word in my mouth, filled with excitement to say what it's all about. For a long time, I've held this water in, let the floodgates open, let the miracles begin. I've prayed, and I've gone back 7 times, look again, cause the miracles are mine, stir the water. I'm about to step in like the pool of Bethesda, let the healing begin.
Daughter of mine, this is your time, and you gon' shine, and you gon' shine. Daughter of mine, this is your time, and you gon' shine, and you gon' shine.
It took a minute to get my composure right. For years it seems like I've been fighting for my life. Confusing times when my days resemble nights. But now this eagle is about to take flight and soar out of darkness to its revelation light. Though the waves are rough, I step out my comfort zone to walk on water, cause I know I'm not alone. God's got my back and reminds me I'm his own. His words are sweet in my mouth, they taste like a honeycomb. And faith has opened up my eyes. I've been through the fire, tested and tried. As I study God's word, I finally realize that my purpose to visualize, to bring the unseen from the realm of under night until I walk into the fullness of a purpose-filled life, cause I'm light. Yes, I am light, and I shine bright. I am an investment of the Lord Jesus Christ. Not only am I light, I am salt. When I enter in, I add flavor to it all. I bring truth, there's no dispute. Jesus is the vine, and in him I take root. I am the head, and not the tail. I'm an overcomer made free to prevail. A new design, a special kind, ambassador followed by wonders and signs. I am light, and I give sight, leading lost souls to a glorious light. I am light.
Daughter of mine, this is your time, and you gon' shine, and you gon' shine. Daughter of mine, this is your time, and you gon' shine, and you gon' shine. Daughter of mine, this is your time.